First off, I think we need to talk about why we have gone to the shoulder leverage method and what was the old way. Well, the old way, quite simply, was what I was taught as a young player and throughout the early 90s and late 80s, and I was taught, the good old cross the bow tackle where you're gonna, put your head across the ball carrier's chest and then, and then eventually it even graduated when I played linebacker in college and whatnot about, put your screws underneath the chin of that ball carrier, and, it was all about how tough you can be in terms of just running in there as fast as you can with your headgear and putting your headgear on the opponent. And that's what we did. And there's no telling how many concussions that I sustained as a player and maybe you out there as a coach did when you played. And the game's changed though. We have to look at the game differently now in this day and age of concussion sensitive parents and doctors, and quite frankly, I'm a father of a child and I don't want my kid to gain a concussion either. So we have to look at the game a little bit differently. And offenses have forced us to look at the game differently. Up here on the slide, you see these are the three ways that the game has drastically changed just in the last 20 years. Really, some of these schemes maybe in the last 10 years. But with the fast screens and quarterbacks getting the ball out on the perimeter right now, away from the the 7 people that are usually in what we call the box area, jet sweeps out of the shotgun with taking an athlete that runs a 10-500 and running him across the formation and handing the ball and letting him get wide in a hurry, to RPOs, the run pass options that and our offense does this really well. They put our best players in conflict. They create space on the football field, and they're constantly trying to get the ball in athletes' hands where there's relatively few defenders. So we have got to figure out a way when we end up in those positions where we have to tackle ball carriers out in space where we don't have a lot of help. How are we going to get this done? And the good old traditional cross the bow tackle is just not quite as effective anymore when you're talking about getting outside the realm of isolation plays, trap plays up the middle, power plays off tackle. So we had to find a way. What can we do as coaches to help our players out in space be successful at tackling? Thank you, Pete Carroll. Thank you, Seattle Seahawks staff, in taking the lead on doing the research on the shoulder leverage method. And we've studied you guys, and our defensive staff has studied how can we take what the Seahawks are doing and apply it to a high school setting. And we feel like we've adapted some of these drills that the Seahawks are doing, and we're doing the best we can to give our kids a chance to be great tacklers. And that's what we're going to get into today.